Lions for Cannes Lions. Is it Cannes or Cannes? What do you say?
I've been saying can, but I'm also not French, so.
Okay, that's true. Well, I'm Julius Solaris. I'm the founder of Boldpush. Welcome to this incredible webinar where we're going to tell you more about what happened in the past 3 days. Spoiler alert, a lot of rosé. And I'm joined by Hilary.
Yeah, I'm Hilary Laney. I am VP of Customer Success at Swoogo, and I'm so excited to be here with you, Julius.
Oh my God, thank you, Swoogo, for having us. I mean, we're surrounded by Swoogo people, and I have to say, I love to be around these people. We have so much fun, so much energy, and we're going to bring you the best of what we saw in the past 3 days.
Yeah.
Let's start by saying it's been hot.
Hot. I've never been so hot.
I think I have trauma for how hot it
Yeah.
was, like, you know, but in a good way. Is it in a good way? I don't know if it is, but it was fun, but like very hot. We had a heat wave in Europe,
Yeah.
but we survived. We're here to share some tips also for your future cans if you're planning to be here. But yeah, I mean, we had a lot of expectations coming in, Hilary, right? We had a lot of things we imagined about the show.
Neither one of us have been. This is our first time.
Right.
Both of us.
It is our first time, right?
Yeah.
What expectations did you have?
Coming into this, well, first of all, I didn't expect the heat, but what I didn't realize was how close everything is together, which is kind of nice. It's all in one area. I think the planning of it and the space of where it is really good. I was expecting to do a lot more walking and having to kind of be all over the place, but it's all kind of just right here in this beach area, which is actually right behind us.
Yeah, I mean, can you see, like, can we talk about this background right here? Like, just incredible. I mean, do you see webinars like this in your life usually? I mean, you're event professionals, probably you do, but like, at the same time, we're having some action here in the background. It's amazing, it's incredible. Okay, let's start from what we actually encountered when we landed onto Cannes Lions and we saw the sign of Cannes Lion. We'll bring it up with our pictures. Look at that. So this is the sign. This is like when you land into the event. Let's talk a little bit about this event, right? And what it is, what we actually encounter, because it's an award show. People don't know it. This is like where agencies win their sort of most creative, for their most creative work. And brands also come to be present, actually more corporate than ever. This is not usual. Like right now it's becoming also a spot for corporates to be here.
A lot more tech.
A lot more tech.
A lot more tech. Yeah, and there's pass holders. I mean, I would say walking around, I've seen maybe even more people who don't actually have a CAN badge. Then there are people who have access to the conference itself, which is really interesting. Yeah. But there's so much going on. I mean, you'll see in what we're going to talk about today, so much of it is about the activations, because even Julius and we didn't really spend a lot of time in the conference center.
We really wanted to. And the Palais, the Congrès, I hope my French is like fantastic here.
You're doing better. You're Italian, so you're doing better than me.
Well, you know, that doesn't make me good in French though. But still, at the same time, we're like, you know, I spoke to them and they told me that it's 15,000 people in attendance usually that buy a ticket and 15,000 more than don't. And they're like hanging around. So it's like 30,000 people in this small town in the south of France. The event is an award show, but it's a big conference component as well, right? I think we're seeing a lot of the conference program coming to life for the first time. They're investing a lot in terms of that. And there's a lot of attention from an event perspective into first timers. You know, it's there's a lot of work. I've never seen an event doing so much work for first timers. We're seeing a lot of the meetups that they're creating, a lot of the experience, the first timers tours in multiple languages. You can, I think we have some pictures as well of the first timers that we can see. This is a meetup that they organized for the first timers. I mean, it wasn't the sun as everything else. Yeah. But like, you know, this was an hour for networking. The tours, first timers are very important because there's a huge switch happening in this industry specifically. This event has always been traditionally about media. And the new media is content creators, right? That create this type of, you know, a new way of communicating, brands all over them. And they're trying to do this to nurture the next generation of media companies, that is going to be individuals, right? So it's very exciting. I think we saw the tours maybe as well. We can see the tours there. This is like, I snapped a picture of it, like, you know, a creepy person following people.
Was this in the conference center?
This is in the actual conference center. And like, this is actually in the basement. And in the basement, they have all of these iPads with the history of all the prizes, like anybody that won, the lions.
Cool.
The lions are the actual lion that you win, which goes against the bears that you win with the Cannes Film Festival, right? So they have the bears for that, and you have the lions for this. And you could see that you have a literal library of all the most significant campaigns you can think of. And it's like incredible way of teaching the next generation. A lot of work for creators, a lot of work. Then we had Oprah as well joining us.
I missed Oprah. I'm so bummed. Hilary. I know.
Oh, oof, what a session. I must say, like the energy in the room, like, you know, everybody was like kind of like, what is going to happen? As soon as she walks in, like she controls everything. She controls the room. Yeah. She could do whatever. You're like, people excited, people jumping, like it was so great.
What was the content? What did she speak on?
Well, you know, it's the Oprah thing, right? Sure. It's like so inspirational about her upbringing, like how she made it, how she became, you know, one of the most influential, the most, she's been elected the most influential self-made person in the history of the United States of America. It's just incredible.
Amazing.
And Phil Thomas, the chairman for Cannes Lion, interviewed her on stage. And he said that he's been chasing her for 14 years to be here. He has his first email he sent in 2012 to actually invite her here to the show, and he made it. And so it was a special moment. This is something to say about the events you're planning as well. This didn't make me register. Probably a lot of people didn't register for Oprah, but it validated that moment. A lot of selfies being made of people not even probably listening to what she was saying.
Yeah,
like
just wanted
being
that.
there in the room
the Oprah
with
moment.
her. Yeah, it was that. So yeah, it was that, and you know, then we move into how the event is structured, which is the biggest part, the activations.
Yes.
Oh my God. Let's talk about them. 3 levels, right? So there's control next to the palais. Then we have the beaches. Then we have the yachts, and then we have the villas.
The villas.
So 4 levels actually. So it was pretty incredible. We're gonna start with what?
I think we're going to start with Canva.
Ooh, let's go. Let's do it.
All right.
Let's bring up Canva on screen and take a look. Look at that.
Perfect. Yeah, so this was actually, this might have been the first activation that we went into. I had heard about it coming into the event, and it was kind of, they've been here before, and I've always heard that this is a great activation to experience, and they definitely lived up to my expectations. As you can see, the brand. Okay, so this one, I got to talk about this. So it's towards the back side of the activation. So all the activations along the beach, you enter from the street, and you kind of go down some stairs on most of them because there's already restaurants that line up on the beach. So they've built their activations like outside of these restaurant experiences. And so either they take advantage of the restaurant in some cases, and in other cases they've just done this full build out that goes out into the beach. Most of them almost into the water. And in this case, this was right near the water, and it was their confetti shower. So it sort of mimicked the idea of like a showering off after you're getting out of the water and off the beach. But when you click the button, it kind of films you. It does a little video, and you can see that red thing at the top. All this confetti starts to fall down on you. It's just so much fun. We had such a great time with it. They had some drinks, and this was an opportunity. I actually saw this at a lot of the activations, was sort of this personalization of tell everyone you're at Cannes, and so you could customize your own postcard and send it. They actually are going to mail it, and I actually sent it to my kids. So hopefully, I don't know, in a week or something, you know, they'll get this postcard from the place that I was at.
Things like these.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah,
I love it too. And check out this stage. There's a pool in front of it.
Oh yes.
It's amazing. Yes. That's real water, real floaties. This was my favorite stage. It was just so fun, and it was really hot, so you kind of want to jump in. And then this was an opportunity to buy some actual merch. from Canva. There were some
which
cool
is smart.
items. Yeah, and we've got some swag topic towards the end here, so you'll get to see some cool swag. So female quotient, I bring this one in here because it had sort of a similar vibe, and then it was very community based, and to Julius's point, sort of analog, like getting away from the digital and really about the experience and meeting people and connecting. So there was a lot of activities. Like this was something where you could build a charm bracelet. They had some rosé.
Of course, of course.
Frozen rosé.
Rosé is the new coffee.
Yeah, this was
right?
about 11 o'clock in the morning, and
Insane.
Jahan's one of my colleagues, and we just went for it. Like,
Yeah,
of course, why
as
not?
you do,
This
as
is
you do.
great. So, yeah, that was Canva. So
Yeah.
I think, Julius, you have the next one, right?
I have
You're
the
gonna
next
talk
one.
about...
I want to make a disclaimer here. Okay, so for the most of us, we're dreaming. I've attended hundreds of events. I work with some of the top companies in the world. I've never, ever seen this level of activations in my career. In 20 years of career, I know I look young, but 20 years of career here, it's just insane. Like the amount of budget, and it's not just budget, it's creativity as well, how it's coming together. So you'll see a lot of stuff that you're gonna think, oh my God, I'm never gonna be able to do something like this. Well, but you know, it's not just about splashing money. These people are thinking through, and
Yes.
some of these criteria you can adapt absolutely to your event. Like it's about getting your takeaways here as well. So let's take a look at Amazon and what they did with their Amazon port, which is like, the name already kind of tells you that it's like the size of the activation looked like a port.
Yeah.
Like they recreated a whole city basically within this activation. It was just insane.
And it was a standalone, right? It wasn't connected to any, they weren't leveraging any other spaces or buildings or anything. It's all, everything you see in these images is all their own construction.
Yeah, and
right?
so what you like to call at Boldpush micro activations, there were a lot of those, like a lot of stations in a sense doing little things. What I like the most, and like the activations that I selected here, is not just like, okay, let's get a lot of rosé and let's have fun with some music and some content. That's the basis here. Like, you know, you see it everywhere. I feel like whenever they were stepping it up, but also plugging the product in, I was interested. Because at the end of the day, despite the looks, we're in a business event. We're working here,
Yeah,
Hilary. I mean, that's what
definitely.
we're
I mean, I felt
I mean, people cannot tell. We had rosé here on the table, like up until a few minutes ago. But like, we're working hard. And so look at these two influencers here that are supposed to be famous. I cannot tell you the name because I'm old. And you know, they're like live streaming on Twitch. They're basically very influential people giving out ice cream to the guests at Amazon. And like, obviously they don't know how to put ice cream in there. They're like, go, yeah, enjoy it. Like, I was part of it. It was fun. Like, you know, it's just so cool. I had so much fun. This is like the Oprah podcast.
This was the only glimpse of Oprah that I got.
Yeah, I think she was there as well on
Yeah,
stage.
she was.
Yeah,
She
right.
was, yeah.
They had a huge stage for Amazon as well, with like NBA stars, all the people that were doing podcasts with. Oprah launched a podcast on Amazon. That's why she was like heavily plugged for the whole event. And so you had these paper flowers where you could write notes of gratitude and like put them there. See, this is like one of those moments where like budget is not an issue. Like
Yeah,
you could do this.
right,
Like you
right.
could do this. It's like so easy, so meaningful. Like the postcards. Like
Yep.
that's no drama with that. Like no budget drama, no conversations. Then they had this beautiful activation where they had all of the books that inspired either series or podcasts. So life stories, Muhammad Ali, like you name it. It was all there, and they were displaying the books that inspired the generation of the next media that they're doing. Oh, I love that idea.
Yeah.
Then the secret room. I didn't get to do the secret
This
room.
was
You
really
did
cool.
it, right?
Yeah. So you enter this space, you kind of stand outside and you're not sure what you're walking into, and they open it up. The entire inside, it's really dark. You can tell from the photo, you can't really see the gentleman that's standing there. There's screens in the back, and you sit up to a bar, and it's real foggy in the room, and then there's a storyteller, and he comes and starts talking about how Amazon is working with, how they have their ads and how these organizations come in and do it, and how they've partnered with these brands to, elevate the experience. And so what they've done is they've sort of recreated them in this space so that we could have an opportunity to see what that's like. So in this case, in the very beginning, you're all kind of sitting together in this room. He tells this story. You're sipping on a espresso martini, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then,
it's always cool.
And then, yeah, exactly. And then they break you up into two different groups, and one group goes into the Lexus experience, and the other one comes into this one where they are talking about, obviously you can see the product is everywhere, but they did a karaoke, which was so cool. So you sit down, it feels kind of random, but it actually, for us that was in the room, it was a really cool moment, and we all kind of let our guards down and just sang at the top of our lungs. And
the espresso martini
yeah,
helped as well.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
we gotta say
it
that.
was really fun. So it was cool. I thought they did a great job, and I actually, going into this, I wasn't sure what to expect, but coming out of it, I was like, that was pretty cool.
Oh, this is the espresso
Oh yeah, some of the
martini. I love
photos
it.
might be out of order here, but
Yeah,
you can see.
no, it's me clicking and like not getting it right. Sorry.
It's all good.
We'll try to do our best here. So let's see what else we got here. This is like the old espresso martini. So Amazon was incredible. You got a lot of tips there, but let's pause for a second because what is happening with the chat people? I want to see the chat light up. Are people chatting? Are we asking questions? Because we want to have your questions by the end of this. We want to answer some of those. So start thinking about your questions right now. What could be a good question? How many glasses of your rosé did you drink? How long did you walk? Like, these type of, but also
How did you stay cool?
Yeah, oh my God. I don't know. Like, honestly, I'm looking forward for my travel back to the US. I'm going to be in the plane like this.
Same.
Like, bring me some air
Same.
conditioning and like freeze me to death.
I know.
Because like, I want to wear a sweater right now so hard. Okay, so next one up, we got Meta
Let's talk
Beach.
about Meta, yeah.
So cool.
All right, so here we are. This was
So
actually.
we're going to riff about this.
I know we
right?
are going to riff about it a little bit.
Yeah, let's have a fight.
Yeah.
Like a genuine fight. I love it.
Okay, so I came into this one, a lot of people had been talking about the Meta experience, and I was looking forward to it just because it is Meta. So thinking, okay, this has got to be big. Yeah, right, exactly. And so I came in, and coming through the experience, so when I walk into an activation, like especially something like this where it's a full build out, I'm always kind of paying close attention to the flow and just how, if I'm coming in as an attendee, I was an attendee, but if I'm looking at it through the lens of someone who's not in events and just experiencing it, how comfortable do I feel? Do I know where to go? Is everything, when I look around, do I know what to do? Do I know what these things are? And I got a little lost. That was kind of my feedback for this one. You walk in and there was a beautiful floral arrangement when you first walk in. But then as you're kind of going down the stairs, first you don't know, if you go left, there's a whole nother brand activation over there. Then you go downstairs and it's real narrow. And so I just kind of felt a little, is this really the direction that we're supposed to be going? But they did you had talked about some of the stations that they had, the mini activations that you were talking about. That
this
was good.
hydration station was like quite something, right? Because you needed it so desperately. You can bump it up with electrolytes and, extra whatever, supplements and whatever.
Which we all needed.
Oh my God, like we needed so bad.
Yeah.
And you either had cups or, water bottles to refill. So that was cool.
I did appreciate that, and there was flavors. You could choose from the different flavors. That was a cool thing. I did fill up my water bottle, but there was a lot going on too, and it was kind of. I had a moment where I was like, I'm not exactly sure which place to go to, but they did have a big stage where they were presenting. They had meeting space, which is a common theme. You'll see that with all these activations.
Yeah.
That's a really critical piece.
Yeah, it
to
seems
all
like
of this.
it's a trade show, but it's like the meetings area are like in the booth.
You kind of have to find them, right?
Yeah.
In a lot of cases,
they keep you out of it unless you're pre-booked and you're an important client or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of but it's an interesting one as well. Like this is something that we need to talk about here. The product. This is something that I liked about Meta specifically because again, plugging the product is important and it matters. I feel like they were plugging the glasses and the cases and everything else for the new Meta. Meta glasses, the second generation. You could demo them, you could try them on, you could order them and get them shipped to the US.
That's so smart. So smart.
Yeah. So I agree.
I don't think I saw that in any of the other, where you can actually purchase the product.
Canva.
Oh, Canva, true. Yeah, that's true.
The smart
but that
ones.
was more merch versus the product.
True.
Yeah.
It was clever. I feel also the use of tech that they did. Obviously, Swoogo tech company, you want to see that level of integration with the experience. So they gave you a tag to check in, and you could use that tag everywhere to check in all of the activations, almost like a la Disney, where you would swipe it next to Disney-looking type of, NFC pad, activated, get your detail on, and they use WhatsApp as a concierge for the whole activation. So you had a full WhatsApp, whether you wanted to order ice cream or get, a selfie that you did with AI, you got it on. And so that level of integration with technology for a geek like myself made it special.
That's great. Yeah, it's awesome. Another thing, did you?
That's my selfie.
So here we go.
Yeah, that's my selfie with, that then became like, it was sort of projected on screen and then became like one of the activations. They give you that cool looking hat. That was like a lifesaver hat for like hats. My beautiful hair here, like to actually protect me from the sun. So that was pretty cool. I like that. You see, that's me. That's my AI version of me. And you can do this very easily, right? They had the secluded beach area type
that was
of it.
Cool. Yeah, actually a lot of the brands did that. They built out over the beach, and a lot of the private meetings were happening out there in that space.
Yeah, you're not allowed in too many places. It's a little bit of a FOMO. This is like the WhatsApp ice cream, which was like pretty neat. I mean, let's open a parenthesis here, Hilary. I mean, hats off to all of the events people that worked this week.
100%.
Like honestly, see this that lady on the right, she was like sweating, like literally like pouring out water. I mean, it was just like, I felt so bad. I was bringing them water whenever I could because they were like, they couldn't move. It was just like so incredible.
And they're still doing it. I mean, it's 7 p.m.-ish here now, and all these brands open up, not all of them, but a lot of them are opening up and doing night experiences as well, having DJs, concerts. So they're doing it all day. I mean,
sometimes they're very young people that probably never worked in the events industry. This is like their crash course in what the events industry is about. I'm going to post this on LinkedIn because it was so special to see these very young people with a lot of energy, with a smile on their face, like completely red or sweating. Like, the conditions, like we're joking about it, but they were like literally pushing it for a lot of the attendees. Can you imagine for the people working? So kudos in the chat for all these people, please. I want to see the chat light up for all these people that, coming from all over the world, not just the French. There were a lot of, UK, British, American people here. It was like literally an international event. All right, let's move to the next one. Okay. Should we go to UTA? Oh my God, Hilary, what do you think about UTA?
So Julius saw UTA before I did, the day before, and I hadn't, it wasn't on my initial list, but he said, Hilary, you have to see this. It's incredible. So I saw it this morning, and I was blown away. I've never seen anything like it. It was unbelievable.
You've worked some incredible events in your life for some of the
same as you, 20 years.
But you've done like crazy stuff. But have you seen anything quite like it?
Nothing like it. And I couldn't help with my production background. That's all I could think about is how did they do this in time for an event? Because it was the structure itself.
How long did it take to build it?
2 weeks. 2 weeks. And when we walked in and you're experiencing, you'll see from the photos, it looks like an actual permanent structure. This is the entrance.
Look at that.
Yeah.
This is the entrance.
It's unreal.
It's like, it's a building, right? Yep. It's a building in front of the Palais, in the closed, like a security area where you have to clear security. And it's kind of like more of a contained area. It's not in the beaches where a croisette, where you have to walk freely and you can get off from the street. This is like more secluded, more exclusive. I would say this is the social area where people were hanging out for the whole event. Like the area that the event itself wasn't having. They had a lounge with, happy hour at 5:30 or whatever for first timers and again, and creators, but this was the spot. They had sessions with people like Paris Hilton and will.i.am. The problem was, as a lot of people I'm sure are asking in the chat, what is UTA? Right? What is it? Right? And they had no branding whatsoever.
That's true. That's a really good point.
On what UTA is. I mean, it reminded me of that Korean company at CES that built a whole sphere and a whole track with a sort of almost like a what is it called? Like those machines, like a train.
The train. I remember that.
Remember that?
I saw that. Yeah, with the smiley face on the globe and everything.
They probably spent $20 million for that. I still don't remember the name of the company for that.
Same.
So UTA though, we found out. United Talent agency, and they represent a lot of these artists, right? will.i.am, Paris Hilton. They had so many coming through. You could hang out with them. 3 full bars, meeting areas.
Yeah.
Let's talk serious business here.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah.
You
And they
can
had
walk
full air conditioning too that was being pumped into the rooms, and it was very impressive. And then I think there's another photo of how it kind of opens up into the beach.
Let's see. This
look
is
at that
the stage,
background.
right?
It's amazing. It's unbelievable. They did such a good job of making the inside feel like it was part of the outside. It just flowed really nicely.
Yeah, I love these comments you make. They're so spot on. Do we have more? No, we skipped one. Oh yeah, this is the bar.
Look at that bar.
There's 3 of these. Like these are the 2 small ones, and then there's one upstairs with like huge and they were bringing snacks at all times. So here's the thing. For my only criticism for an event like this, some of these tickets, they were going for like 6,000 euros.
Yes.
No food and beverage whatsoever.
Right. Yep.
0.
That's true. Yep.
So this was like one of the few spots where you could get some drinks without feeling guilty that you're like stealing. You know what I mean? Like that feeling like you're intruding.
Yes.
And they were like, they didn't care. Like you were there. They were like bringing food all the time, like snacks. They were partnering with Mars, very clever.
Yeah.
So you have Pringles and like Snickers and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, Hilary.
Yeah, it was amazing.
What do we think about this? Do we have more? Is that it? Is that the last one? I think it's the last one. Yeah, this is the menu. Look at that. Ooh. I feel like we're showing like our holiday pictures to people. You know what I mean? That feeling where you're back from a trip and and this is where we were drinking rosé.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, all right. So we can move to the next one. This is going to be yours. This is going to be NYT. And brand innovators.
Yeah, so the reason I wanted to bring these up, they're different in the sense that when you walk in, they definitely didn't feel the same. But the experience that I had with them was that both of them created spaces that felt a little different than the rest of what was going on around you. They both created very comfortable spaces. So the New York Times, this was a smaller activation, and it was in the Carlton Hotel. It was a beautiful space, but they were celebrating their 175th year of being around. So they did a tribute to that basically. And you can see, I mean, this feels like a New York vibe, right? And they were serving bagels with lox.
That's not bad.
Very New York.
Of course.
Some cheesecake, which was also delicious. And again, to your point about UTA, as soon as we walked in, they offered us the food.
Right.
We're like, yes, please.
Let's go.
We're hungry. Let's eat. So we sat in the space for 30 minutes. It was really comfortable.
Small space. It's not
smaller
huge,
space,
but
right?
you feel,
but just really intimate, comfortable. We had a great conversation. We met some people. They were giving away printed newspapers, which I really appreciated. And so here's brand innovators. So this was also a good one. Obviously, you can see it's a different vibe. They had a full stage. But again, being in there, the way that this was set up, they kind of had it all in one room. There wasn't a whole lot of broken up spaces. Along the perimeter, they had all the meetings that were happening. People could order food and have some lunch. They had the stage in the middle, and then off to the side where I'm standing was more of like happy hour social. And it was all happening in one space, which seems a little hectic, but it created a situation where you didn't feel like you needed to move around and do every single thing that was happening. You could be very intentional and then stay in that space that you were in, which I appreciated, because being at an event like this where there's so much going on, sometimes you just need a minute to be in one space at one time and not go anywhere.
Right, and
just enjoy the conversation.
We see a lot of those people, like at all the tech events we attend, on the floor, plugging their phone, in a plug that it's randomly somewhere.
Yes.
Because most events don't think about how to pull it together, how to give spaces. And one common thread that you can see here in all of the activations is, yes, they have a content stage, but they have a lot of lounges, a lot of opportunities for people to hang out and chill and connect with others and network. I met so many people just by hanging out at UTA, sitting there and like randomly talking to people. That's planned serendipity for me. That's the moment where you intentionally put in areas for people to connect. They're very close, tables like these, looking so close together, and immediately you start chatting and everybody's so nice.
Yeah, I agree. It was so great.
Okay.
All right, so Julius, this is a big one.
Oh my God, Adobe.
Adobe.
Let's talk about Adobe here because it was.
Well, first we love Adobe, right? Adobe's an incredible brand.
It is an incredible
Yeah.
brand. I'm assuming they use Swoogo as well. Adobe. Let's keep on using it. It was awesome. Like, honestly, like I must say something about Adobe. First off, like other than the presence, which was massive.
Everywhere.
Like literally you look around and there's like an Adobe sign somewhere.
Yep.
Like,
Even within other activations. They
Right.
partnered with some of the other brands, and they had, it was amazing.
Like I counted probably like 8 different touch points.
Yep.
Completely different activations. That's a clever strategy, right? Not investing in like one big one, but being a little bit spread out. Still with presence. It's not like little by all means,
Yeah.
but like still with a lot of presence. So let's bring up Adobe and look at this. This is what happened right at the end. Like after, I want to say something about the people that were working with Adobe at the booth. Like these people were some of the nicest people I talked to in
Yep.
general. Like after talking to them, we were talking obviously about the heat and like how we were melting and how they had no voice and whatever. They came close to me and they said, "Here, Julius, here's a pin for you. Take this pin." And I was like, "What am I gonna do with this pin?" And they were like, "So once you walk into the Majestic Hotel next to the Adweek activation, which was great as well, there's going to be a secret room. Show this pin to them." Oh my God. I was like, yeah, I'm dropping everything else. I'm going there. I'm doing this right now.
This is Adobe. What are they going to be doing?
Like this secret theme came up
Yeah.
again and again, like the secret
Yep.
room at Amazon,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And again, budget. Is it about budget, people? It's a clever idea. Like you
is,
can
yeah.
do this. You can absolutely do this and create something meaningful. And so you walk into this room that was like specifically made for creators with this pin. And you're going through an experience where you select with AI. Obviously, it's like they plug the product as well, the generative AI.
Right.
And you get a customized bag with like some serious swag. Like I'm talking like
Really
serious,
cool.
like expensive swag. Like there's a MacBook cover, like high-end MacBook cover, and like a bag sort of holder, and a passport holder, all themed together.
And they made it themselves.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Adobe made it themselves. They actually manufactured it themselves for
Incredible.
this event. It's amazing.
The tote bag, you could choose, like based on your AI outcome, you could choose your style of generative AI, and they would print it to your personalized super high-end sort of, it would keep the cool as well. So it's like, what is it, refrigerated type
Yeah.
of, where you could keep like your drinks and stuff like that. Then they had this activation with makeup. You would do your makeup, then you would take a picture, like a professional headshot type of picture, and then you would load it into their system to create ads with all of their
cool.
partners like L'Oreal and all of these. You could see yourself in the ad, but also you could understand how you could scale these type of ads very quickly. So clever,
That's great.
right?
I didn't get to see this part of it.
This
That's
was
really
right in
cool.
front of the Palais.
awesome.
So that was pretty cool. What was the next one? Let's see if we can get to the next one. The next one was, this is like the Disney activation next to it. So they are partners with Imaginarium from Disney, and they brought out all of a sudden the 2 little robots from the latest Mandalorian movie, and obviously as a fan, like literally when we
Amazing.
were filming there, all of a sudden they appeared. We were like, oh my God, this
I
is like
love that.
so cool. And you could create actually the new attraction for Disney Park and style it your way, and then get a printout from it,
Cool.
and Mickey-shaped chocolate cookie. I mean, the kid in me, and also like my belly was so happy for it. It's like, it was a pretty damn good cookie, I must say. So let's see what else we got here. This is me taking the picture. Let's see if we got, this is like them printing
yeah.
my tote bag. Let's see.
Nice.
me with
Oh,
the
look
tote
at
bag.
that.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Can I circle back to what you were saying about the friendliness
Yeah.
of the team?
Yeah.
So I had the same experience. I was sitting outside waiting to go into that boutique, and someone from the Adobe team, the events team, came and she introduced herself to me, came and sat, and she just sat and had a very meaningful conversation with me for about 10 minutes, just because she knew I was going to be sitting there waiting. And I find that to be a really interesting approach, to have people from the brand, not necessarily in the private meetings and doing just business, but also making those connections she doesn't know who I am. She didn't know my role. She didn't know if I was a buyer or anything like that. But yet she took that time to just personalize the experience, and that I walked away from it feeling like, wow, that was pretty cool that she spent time with me in that way.
I mean, at the end of the day, what are we going to remember? The rosé of that special moment. Like, I spent probably 15 minutes speaking to this Firefly head of creative at Adobe for Firefly, their sort of AI generative product that interfaces with Photoshop. I mean, I'm gonna remember that conversation, how we were like both sweating, like she was like literally in the sun, she had no voice left.
Yeah.
But like she gave me so much energy, and like I have to say the same for like a guy that showed me the demo for Canva, as well as the Meta glasses. These people were sweating and like going at it for the whole day. Even the Google people, and we're going to be talking about Google. One of their top creative people during the demo, he told me like, yeah, a couple of hours ago, I just like they were by the beach. He went for a swim.
Oh, good.
I came back. I was
I've
like,
been so
bring me
tempted.
that energy. I love it.
I love it. If Google's doing it, I feel like I could do it now.
Oh my God.
I haven't done it yet. All right, I want to talk about Pinterest for a minute here. So Pinterest was interesting. I love Pinterest. I love the brand. I use Pinterest all the time, and I was really excited to go to this activation, and holistically I did love it. There was some really cool stuff that you could participate in. What was challenging for me, and I think this is something that we all need to be aware of when we're thinking, again, if you come back to that attendee experience, and you've got to keep in mind these people are jumping from activation to activation. They're hot, they're exhausted.
Oh, yeah.
And so as you were walking through, it was kind of a narrow space and just a lot going on. So the people coming in and out are just constantly bumping shoulders. And you'll see as I click through these images, the diversity of activities that they had available for people. Again, it was kind of difficult to kind of figure out where to go. So we talked about this before. This was another one that had the postcard, which I still think is such a cool thing. They were doing tie-dye shirts that you could do, which is pretty cool. And then they also had, so this is kind of you can see what I'm talking about here from this image, how kind of tight everything is.
Which is not good with the heat as well.
Which is hard. They were doing real tattoos.
Okay.
So they had about 6 or 7 tattoos that you could choose from, and then you come up and they had tattoo artists in there doing the tattoos.
Like an actual tattoo?
An actual
and you
tattoo.
have to choose out of 6?
Yeah.
That's it?
Right,
oh my God,
right.
I don't know about that.
But people were doing it. I mean, they were booked. When we went in, we couldn't even get a spot.
Okay.
They were bleaching people's hair.
Okay, all right. I feel excluded, but it's fine.
Yeah, and I get it. Pinterest is, you go on Pinterest and you can find anything. So I get it. I understand.
Yeah,
it's like you're
that's
trying
true.
to kind of tap into that community. And it's almost like they took what you can find on Pinterest and made it into real life. But in the beginning, someone kind of had to explain that to us. It wasn't very clear when we first came into the activation. So I think I missed that last picture, but the idea just being that there was so much going on and very little kind of understanding of how you're supposed to experience it all in one.
Totally.
So,
yeah.
But again, I love Pinterest.
No, I mean, like, we're not picking on anybody.
Yeah.
And also, like, what is my experience or Hilary's experience doesn't necessarily represent what,
we
a
think
customer
about,
of Pinterest may be experiencing, right?
Right.
There's so much diversity here in terms of the actual key clients as well as customers that it's hard to say. And also, we're like different moments of the day. Maybe I've experienced some things like, top of the morning, I was energized and I loved it. And some other things I saw like, later in the day at 3 p.m. with like the sun beating like so hard that I just like transferred that emotion on the actual activation.
Yep.
I did that for a few of those, I'm sure. For example, like Canva, when I got there, I love the branding and all of it, but like, oh my God, I couldn't breathe in it. Like, I was trying to chug ice cream like there was no tomorrow. But like, I think I'm gonna run for like 6 weeks to drop all the weight that I gained here, just like eating ice cream. But like, at the end of the day, it's going to be, thank you for the big shot now on my belly. You just wish.
Like zoom in.
Yeah. We love you, director. So it was just the moment of the day. It's really like nothing wrong with Canva. I mean, you loved it, right?
I loved it. And what's funny about that too, Julius, now that you say that. So we went to Amazon on our first day, and then we went later in the day, and that's exactly the headspace I was in.
Yeah.
I was like, I cannot take this.
Yeah, that was intense.
So I kind of rated it a little bit lower as I was thinking about the different activations, and my team was like, okay, we got to go back in the morning when you're refreshed, and sure enough, the next day when I went back, I loved it. It was an amazing experience.
There you go.
So you're exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. Like, there's so much going on. It happens in Vegas in day 3 of any conference or trade show. Like day 3 is like, I want to die.
The burnout.
After the party and all of that. Okay, all right.
I think we're on the last activation, right? And we brought together, we wanted to do just kind of talk about the tech experiences that we saw.
So many tech companies.
There were so many, which my understanding, I had a conversation with our CEO about this, and it's interesting because, this has been around for how many years? 75?
A lot
Something
of
like
years.
that. It's been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
And usually it's more of a creator experience, and I think they have noticed, people have been talking about how there's been a shift more towards the tech and corporate coming in, which you kind of talked about at the beginning as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously trying to lure in all the creators as well. Like every company, literally I met the social media head of influence for every single tech company. I saw them even if it's B2B, like companies like HP, I was there in their yacht, which is a whole different conversation here. Or Microsoft, I spoke to their social media person. Like, these traditional tech companies, they're investing heavily in building creator assets there because they're realizing that buying traditional media is not paying anymore as much. I mean, they still are. But like as we're seeing the push in events, we're seeing the push in creators at events sometimes. So many creators present here, like literally the lineup of influencers, mid-top tiers was just incredible from all over the world in different categories. So it's just insane. Okay, tech. What are we going to talk about? Are you thinking about the questions? Let's do the questions. Okay, let's make sure you're thinking about it. Okay, let's take a look.
All right, so we're going to just kind of flip through these. So Salesforce.
Just
to kind of give you that, it was nice. It was really nice and open and airy. I thought they represented their brand really well. It was it was subtle. I thought it was nice. One thing I want to talk about with the tech experience that I found to be interesting, and you'll see this actually right now with the Microsoft Gardens experience, kind of going back to that analog. They were really trying to humanize what they were projecting out there. And it's unlike what you experienced at Meta. I think these brands did a much they were more intentional about kind of saying, yes, tech is important, yes, AI, everything. They were acknowledging how critical all of that is, and we need to be paying attention to it. But at the end of the day, in theory, that should be allowing us to connect in person and be more human and go jump in the beach. So like find your flow, and you can see the garden, it was a whole garden theme with all the plants. Just really bringing it down to
more of a greenhouse than a garden at some stage.
True.
Oh my God.
True.
But like not just Microsoft, honestly, like all of the beach activations, like there's nothing you could do.
There was no way they could have. No one was predicting this anyways. I mean, the heat wave. So switching over to Google.
The drive-in.
And the YouTube. Yeah, this was kind of. Did you do it?
No, I didn't.
You didn't.
But I took a picture of it. That was like people were having fun.
It looked pretty neat.
You could sit in this car and like take a picture of yourself, and then with AI, you would basically be projected in a video.
Like you were really driving it,
exactly.
right? Yeah,
so cool.
Yeah, really cool.
I love that they brought the analog cards with like a lot of attention for like this dystopian sort of analog digital AI, but analog, like so retro, but at the same time so futuristic coming together. Those activations that did both. They had an activation for postcards as well at Google, right?
And this gal in this photo, she's trying on clothes digitally.
Yeah.
So what I found to be interesting about Google, it was the first time at this conference that I walked into the activation and it felt like a mini IMAX almost because they had all their partners and it was almost like mini booths within this activation, which I thought was really interesting.
It's true. Very good focus on the product for Google as well. A lot of demos, that's usually the case with them. And very, very nice people to talk to. They were great people.
Yeah, and we had the LinkedIn experience too, which was up on the, well, they were actually kind of all dispersed all across in different places. But they were in the Martinez
What about LinkedIn?
Hotel,
what do you think about LinkedIn? I'll tell you my opinion after that.
Okay, I'll go first. So LinkedIn, I thought it was, so the fortunate thing I had is I was with, on one of the XP, on the XP Land tour.
Okay.
So I was getting an actual top to bottom tour and explanation of the strategy and, you know, how they approached it for Cannes. And so I had a little bit of a backdoor understanding, and overall I thought it was done really well. As you came up the elevator and got off, there was a sort of like viewing area to watch the sessions that were happening up on the rooftop with headsets, which I thought was really critical. Little hot tip there, headsets, because there's people around talking and socializing, so it was cool that they could focus on the content. But then you went upstairs to the rooftop, which was beautiful, but again, I know we keep mentioning the heat, but it really did them a disservice. It was too hard to be up there. I mean, you can see it was empty. I mean, there weren't, now the session was full. I mean, this is our group that was getting the tour, and we kind of sat under this shaded area. This is the session that was going on, and you can see the session space was full, so the content was obviously rich and drew people in, but the networking, it was just difficult. So this is that viewing room.
Let me say something about LinkedIn.
I want to hear your thoughts.
So I love LinkedIn. LinkedIn changed my life. I'm a creator on LinkedIn first. I was here shooting a video for LinkedIn. I have 100,000 almost followers on LinkedIn. I would say I'm in the top tier of the 0.1% creators on LinkedIn. I didn't get to see LinkedIn. They didn't let me in because they were having private events. They were having all of that going on. And we were saying, okay, when can we come back? I was saying, we're press. We have a press badge. We want to showcase this in our video. And they were like, oh, I don't know, tomorrow morning at 9. I'm like, what? Like, what? How can I get to see
now.
this?
Yeah.
And so
they lost
it's
you.
Not just LinkedIn, even Spotify. Like, you couldn't get into Spotify.
Yeah.
Like, nobody can get into Spotify. I don't know who can get. Oprah maybe can.
Yeah.
We couldn't. Like, so everybody's trying desperately. It's kind of like a FOMO tactic to get everybody out because they're so exclusive and cool that only the cool people can get in. But like at the end of the day, I don't know. Like for an event that is like, I wouldn't complain about this if it was like a generic event, but this is an event for creators. You have to let the creators in. Some sessions you cannot film, and you're doing a session for creators. Like, what is the deal with that? Like, yes, you can film with a camera, but if you have a professional camera, you cannot. And I'm like, that's like something you have to figure out, people, if you want to invest in creators, because creators have to be let free to actually do their job, do their Instagram. I mean, we're promoting what you're doing.
Right.
So, like, we cannot be felt like enemies here. Like, we have to be felt welcome. And so, I think, like, some activation missed out of that. But, like, I think what Cannes Lion did very well, they spoke to a lot of the brands and the companies to actually let people in. And make sure that these activations were on the program, they were accessible, you could register for them. So in previous years, it was way worse. What I heard,
really?
like you could not get into anywhere.
Wow.
And so they worked a lot on that to make it more accessible and make people feel welcome. Because, you know, long term, if you if everything is an exclusive party and you don't belong to that, how do you build the next generation of attendees, right?
Right. Yep.
So that's my final rant about it.
What a bummer. They missed out on you being in there. So I mean, that's not,
I'm
that's
sorry. I wanted
miss.
to showcase, I wanted to open the video with LinkedIn, on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I cannot do that. But a word about TikTok, the best air conditioning ever. Well done, TikTok. I mean, they had live shopping as well. You could see like they were selling live. That's the new product for TikTok, which was pretty cool. But we're running out of time. We gotta get to some swag items, and we gotta get to some questions as well. So let's get going with that.
Let's do it. Okay, sounds good. All right, so the swag, Julius. I would love your take on swag. Are you pro swag or? I mean, there's like this debate. We always talk about it, right? Because there's the consideration of the environment, and it's just so wasteful. Yeah. But you want to get your brand out there. You want it in people's hands. Yeah. I don't know. I'd love, before we I do have some show and tell a little bit. I know we don't have a lot of time, so I'll kind of like go through it quickly, but I'd love your take on it first.
I mean, I'm not going to open a can of worms here, but like at the same time, I mean, what we're tired of is like these water bottles. Like my wife doesn't allow water bottles anymore in our apartment because like it's literally we're like overflowing with water bottles. Like we don't want any anymore. We don't want like, you know, cheap stuff. Like we don't want that. That's sort of like, oh, grab this pen or grab this notepad. whatever. Like, I think a lot of people obviously thought about it here very well.
Yes.
And I think, like, those that were giving out, like, portable fans, like, you needed those.
Yes.
Those that were giving out, like, sunscreen, you needed that. Hydration station, like, even if it's not a swag per se, it is like an item that you drink and like you enjoy. You can it's portable, so you can take it with you. And so it made sense to have stuff like that. Then some of the more high-end stuff, they had creators rooms, like in UTA.
Yes.
You could get like 30 euros a piece type of product that skincare and like shops like bodegas where you could just walk in and like grab your own stuff like Adobe did. So there's a lot of that. It's like a level tier up of access. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And I like it because it makes you fight for it. It makes you post about it as a creator.
It makes you walk in the heat for 20 minutes because you hear about it and you want to go get it. It draws people in.
The DPT activation, a secret garden that people are talking about. Like somebody put it on Google Maps, like on the spot.
Yeah.
And you could go and find it. Like it was all secret. You still had to register. You could walk in and get some of the most exclusive swag. I didn't get it because we were too late and they didn't let us in. But like, what's your take about swag?
I love swag.
Okay.
So I've been going to events and working in events for 20 years, and I love swag. I love seeing what people are doing. I love what the brands are bringing. And so I just want to show you all just a few things first. Okay, so this is going to be a little heavy lift, but I'm going to pull it up here.
Do you want me to handle, like to keep it?
Sure. Thanks, Julius,
so
my assistant. Thanks.
Out.
Okay, so this is from Canva. This was the hottest item. People were asking
Can
every
you do a close-up
person.
of me and
so
show
many
it to
people were looking at this bag and saying, so you can see it's that towel material, which is so amazing. So this is my future beach bag. I'm using this moving forward.
QVC.
I
love it.
I love it. Okay, so then Adobe, we did that activation that Julius was talking about in the boutique. So this was my choice. He got the laptop cover. Okay. I got a little, can we see this? Is it in the shot?
Yeah, that's it.
Go this way. There we go. Yeah, so you can see, and it's got the little scarf that goes with it, perfect size.
Scarves were so hot.
The scarves were everywhere. Yeah, I think I'm taking 3 of them home. So this one I actually purchased, this was purchased ahead of time, but I just wanted to pull it up to say how important these were. You had brought it up, but a lot of the different brands were doing their branded fans for people, and people, as soon as they would see us with the fans, they'd say, where do you get that fan? And they'd go to that activation.
Everybody was a fan of the fan.
Yeah, and
this is my dad joke
this version of the fan was also a big one. This one is braised, but a lot of them, Google was giving them out. A lot of them had it.
A lot of people,
which was nice. And then this is the last one. This is from the New York Times. This is kind of like that higher end thing that you were talking about. I thought it was cool because inside, so you get this little bag, which obviously is pretty simple, but then they were giving away Kiehl's products, which I don't know if anyone that's watching is familiar with this, but it's just, you didn't have to do anything.
It was
like for everybody. They were giving it out to everyone. So I don't know, it was pretty cool. And this is just, there's a picture I think I've got here. Let's see if I can go forward to that. Look at this. So this spread, I took this photo and I sent it to my family because I wanted my kids to see what I was coming home with. This is after day 1.
Ooh, you need extra bags.
I know. So speaking of extra bags, hot tips.
Yeah, let's go to tips.
If anyone wants to come here, what do you,
So the lifesaver for me was the actual sprayable water facial spray with Evian, of course, because we're here in France, and it was like I could walk with it, and like sometimes better than a fan because like it was literally refreshing you, you could feel it. Then from an event perspective, I want to share some tips for that as well, at least for what planners they're thinking about it. Like, maybe we should do cans. Like if you're thinking about it, like honestly, avoid anything that has tents and like it's out there because like, this year we got heat wave, but like it's not like other years is like cold. Or it's going to be, sometimes it's been raining for the whole week. So it is challenging. So think about what you're going to do. The hotels can be a little bit crammed. There can be a little bit too much going on in the hotels. So, and then from an attendee perspective, get an Airbnb like a train station away. Like you're going to save a ton of money. The rooms were going out for like $2,000 a night. So, not for everybody here. So Airbnb, a train stop away is like 10-minute train ride. It's actually better.
It's actually easier.
Right? You don't want to get in the car because the traffic is insane. It's not moving.
Yeah.
And so, that's what I would say are my top 3 tips.
Yeah, I would say bring snacks if you're walking. Have those on hand with water too.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I definitely think that keeping cool is important. Come up with a plan ahead of time. So I didn't do a good enough job of this, I'll be honest. And now that I know. So once you know, right? So next year, if I'm lucky enough to be here again, but really invest that time because there is so much to do, and every activation has their own content programming. So you want to make sure that you're not missing the things you really want to see, and there's a lot of overlap. So I wish I would have done a better job of that, because actually the mobile app, which we didn't really talk about, I thought did a great job.
Yeah, it's a
good mobile app. So I wish I would have spent more time in there and really building out my own agenda. And last thing I'll say, well, two last things. Definitely right from the start, if you are into swag,
yes,
get a tote straight out of the gate.
Yes.
So you can carry your stuff. And then I would also say we're on the Mediterranean. So my team and I at one point put our feet in the Mediterranean. We were actually in front of one of the activations, and we just took our shoes off, we put our feet in the water.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was such a cool experience.
Some people say that morning swims are a thing, actually get in the water and swimming if you can. It's just like so refreshing. You feel energized for the rest of the day, or late at night before you're going out for partying, dipping a little bit. It's a treat.
Yeah.
It's a true treat. Like it feels like a pool. This is not the ocean,
amazing.
right? There's no waves.
It's beautiful.
It's all beautiful and clear water.
Yep.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're jealous from home. Okay, question time. Let's do some questions. So we have a question from Becca. What did you notice people passing on? Meaning, what are the companies using in brand activations but people are not interested in? Did you see any of that?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It is.
I would say probably the stuff that you see at other events that's more common. I mean, to your point, those really unique experiences where you can kind of personalize or create your own. But things that are, I saw a lot of the fans went away quickly, but I don't know. I think some of just the more simple kind of, this is a branded thing, like there's keychains, it's stuff, kind of the tchotchke items, not versus the ones that really were useful.
Yeah.
I mean, I think those are the ones I know that I grabbed and that people were talking about when they were in the activations. It's like, how are you going to use that after you've grabbed it, not just bring it home for no reason?
Probably the only exception is pins. People love pins. There's like a glitch in the matrix, and people they want to get them. Collected them. Salesforce was giving like 4 or 5 different versions of them. So it's pretty awesome. I loved a lot of what I saw people passing on. I gotta be honest, a little bit of the content side. I mean, yes. I mean, if you had a session with your favorite star or creator, you would be there. But you're literally competing with so many sessions. So unless it's like someone stupendous and incredible, it's going to be tough.
I agree,
because it's similar if you've been to a Disney park or to an amusement park in general. It's very similar to that experience. You're going through from one attraction to the next. So think about it. How many times you sit in a theater at the Disney? They have theaters with shows at Disney's as well, but that's a small component compared to the time that you're actually experiencing different things. And I feel that you gotta get into that mentality. So content is I'm saying is not important. I have some pictures of overflow in some of the sessions in the Palais, so there's still interest for it.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, I think content is for year 2 or 3 attending can, when you're like an expert,
point, Julius.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, just as my own, as a first timer, I feel like that's the case for sure. And I kept thinking I need to get to some sessions, but there's too much going on.
Well, let me ask you a question though, Hilary. I actually let Carly ask you a question here. How do you prioritize what activations to attend? I mean, I've heard it can be overwhelming. So don't you see us how overwhelmed we are? Oh my God!
I know.
Yes, it is overwhelming.
The way that I approached it, first and foremost, I prioritized the ones that I heard of from years prior. So I did kind of do a little bit of digging and research on sort of either talking to people or seeing it on social, and which ones were kind of hot and cool. I wanted to check those out. Obviously seeing the brands I love, I'm always about that. I love doing that, especially customers. Obviously, we've got some customers here, and and some of them were customers before in my previous
a lot of
opportunities.
Here you got, right?
Yeah.
Kudos to Swoogo.
And so that's it's really fun to be able to go and be in and see what they've done and how they're representing their brand.
Yeah, pretty cool. I feel that on my end, I had to shoot video. So, you'll see it next week. We're going to publish on LinkedIn the top activations that we saw here. So you're going to see all of these in a flash as well. And so I had to choose what to showcase to you and like make a decision of like a 3.5 minute on LinkedIn and probably 10-15 minute on YouTube. And there was too much to choose from. So I had to prioritize as well. And I thought that, I had to choose like the ones that people were talking about. Like you could hear, oh, have you seen Amazon? Oh, have you done that? Oh, have you done? So that usually it's a good filter for you to move on. Like, you talk to random people and you ask a random question. It's a great icebreaker as well. We needed some ice. I wish we had some ice. But icebreaker here, oh my God, I'm doing dad jokes here repeatedly. I hope you appreciate. So, we're like, okay, tell me, what was the best activation you attended? And so you start a conversation, they tell you, oh, I love that. Say, oh yeah, there was amazing flowers there. I'm not gonna go there, because I'm not into flowers. So stuff like that, I would say that helps to prioritize. And then when you see like the big ones where there's a big line,
Well, I would actually even say the ones that had the big line, we walked away from in some cases because you're standing in that heat. It was just too, you're kind of weighing, okay, how worth it is it for me to stand here and do this? So
Hilary, quick fire, 20 seconds from Jessica. Final question. Which activations do you feel would be something that could be replicated easily for spaces of moderate size to enhance guest experiences and create memories? I'm going to start with that.
This is a tough question. So this is a really good one, Jessica.
The secret part of it, right? If you can create secret and anticipation, like not showing what it is, people are just going to be curious. They want to get in. So QR code usually to register, like they give me a playing card with it, and like for me to register. I didn't know what the card was about. So yeah, you see the seagull agrees with me. So, it was awesome. And, then the other part is like these analog postcards, write notes. People are like forgetting how to write
and
stuff.
And the Oprah thing that you showed with the flower, I think that the analog thing was such a big piece and it was so impactful.
Oh, cool. People were like spending, and like you could tell the type of people that were doing that.
Yeah.
It's the senior executives that are not attracted by juice or like a glass of rosé, because like literally there's people pouring brut rosé to them. Like, they're like, okay, I'm going to write a postcard back to my children at home in the United States and I'm going to deliver it for you. That's what, Canva and Google did.
Yeah.
That's a great idea and simple. You're paying for the postage for it, and it's generated by AI, the card in Google. So for Nano Banana, so it's all product.
Which is the tech piece.
I love it. I love it. It's so clever. And also printouts. A lot of printouts, like AI photo booths. Like you can do a lot of those with printouts of things that you can take home and like print and show, or like quickly share on social media as well. Like these three are accessible for like $250 if you want them to do. So there's no excuse for budget for this. It's just creativity and thinking laterally and not be bring up the budget conversation as an excuse not to be creative.
I also think the people, I know we're over time, but I just want to bring that element up again. And both the people who are representing the brand, but also the event people, and just that initial interaction. So much of it is just that conversation and being hospitable and engaging and bringing those people in. I think that's a big part of it.
All right.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Okay.
I can't believe it's already been an hour.
I could go on for like 3 hours about this.
Much.
I mean, the people behind us probably not as much. They're like looking at me like, go away now. Now we need to go back home. We're tired.
And we'll both be posting on LinkedIn. There's more to come, right?
We will be posting about it, but I want to say something about this. Not just because we're doing this together, but like I hope everybody here, we're still listening to this, appreciates the effort that the Swoogo team did to bring you into this very exclusive experience that not a lot of event professionals can actually access, like this opportunity to make it so inclusive for people that could not travel, could not afford to be here, just dreaming about it, for the next generation of event professionals who aspire to do things like these. Thank you, Swoogo, for doing this and allowing us to have this conversation in an open format and showcasing all of these things that are usually secrets finally in the open and for everybody to access. So thank you a lot for that.
Yeah, and thanks to you, Julius, and your team. I mean, the partnership leading into this, and it was pretty intimidating coming into Cannes for the very first time. So having Julius as a partner, and it's always so great. You're so amazing with the event community. And
Hilary, we have to do this again. Let's do it again. What will be our next event together?
I don't know. Any ideas? Put some them in the chat.
Yeah, exactly. Let us know where we're going to be next, and we will be there showcasing what's hot and what's not.
What's not.
Oh my God. All right, people.
Thanks, you guys.
Bye. Bye, from France. Au revoir.
Au revoir.